What if I were to tell you that you can run your own AI models on your own hardware with no subscription required and it's absolutely free? And before, it used to be significantly worse than one of the main AIs, like, a Claude or a ChatGPT. But the one I'm about to show you guys about today, called Qwen, actually came out to be one of the best ones over the past month. In this case here, Qwen 3.6 Plus, free, has actually gotten the majority of the tokens used on OpenRouter. And if you don't know what that is, do not worry about it. In this video, I'll be showing you guys exactly how to get Qwen on your own device. By that logic, if you just follow the same steps, you can actually also get different AI models on your laptop, on your hardware, on your GPU, wherever you want to install it on, as I'll be going through all the different steps and explain to you guys what different models, what different options there are. But first things first, what is Qwen all about? Well, long story short, it's another one of those models. Just like ChatGPT, just like Claude, you all know it, right? But this one comes from Alibaba and recently has been absolutely destroying the competition with their benchmarks showing some absolutely crazy numbers. It basically just showcases that some of the things that Qwen is doing right now, they're beating the competition with some absolutely crazy margins. Then again, I'll be honest with you, if you look at any single one of these AI Twitter pages, you'll notice that they only list the things that they win in, but hey, the fact that they're winning in some things is pretty freaking crazy because, like I said, this is absolutely 100% free. If you want to try it for yourself, you can go ahead and go to Qwen AI, just type in a prompt, whatever you want to ask it about. You want to do some other thing like some web dev, some artifact making. A lot of the stuff you can do in Claude right now, you can also do in Qwen. Or if you want to be a bit more specific, you can go to chat.qwen.ai, try out a specific model if that's what you want to do right here. And once you've made up your mind and you realize, hey, this is exactly what I want, well then we're going to have to start talking about which devices it can run, or the other way around. Which devices this can run on, are there different models, which one should you go for? And oh boy, is there a lot to talk about there. So to make this a little bit easier, let me just quickly tell you, there are two main easy ways to get one of these AIs running locally on one of your devices. Two of the websites I'll link you towards are either Ollama is what it's called. So if you quickly go up a little bit, you can see right there, it's called Ollama. This is one of the most popular ones out there. Or another website called LM Studio. They both have their own merits. I would actually say for most purposes, Ollama is actually easier because all you got to do is just download the file or run it in the terminal, the prompt that it gives you once you open the website. Just press download right here or copy this and insert it into your terminal. It'll show up like this right here. And all you have to do is just click one of the models right here, or that's actually a second option if you don't want to download it to this little model finder. I'll talk to you guys in a second about how to find it. And if you're using LM Studio, again, just press the button right here to download it. If you're not using a Mac, then look on the freaking website, press the download button on the top right, go look for it. And once you got it, I can just quickly go back right here. It'll just look like this. You get started. It'll basically show you one specific model to download. You can skip that for right now if you want to. This again on this laptop, recording laptop, I've actually never opened it up yet. We can just turn this off, continue to LM Studio. Here we go. This is what it opens up as, and well, here's where the two differences lie in. So to get started with any one of these AIs, like I said, you're gonna have to pick a model. You can see right here, if we type in Qwen, there's quite a lot of different options over on Ollama. Which one do we go for, right? We can go and use Claude, we can use Qwen itself somewhere else online or whatever to ask, hey, we have this specific device, which one should I be running? Or if you're using LM Studio, an easy way to get to the page I'm looking at right now, you go to LMs, you press this little robot button, or you just go right here to the robot section. If you type in Qwen right here, if we just quickly go ahead and do that, it'll give us right here the options of things we can go for based on my specs. How do they do that? Well, if you can see right here, if we press best match, it gives us a little option that says only include staff picks that can fit on this device based on an estimated model capacity of 27 gigabytes because my laptop here has 32 gigabytes of RAM. If I click this off, you can see it will give me way more options to go for. If I click it on again, it gives me a lot less. However, for Qwen, it's not as big, at least for most of the models, as some of the other AIs. So I can pretty much run any single thing that I'd want to. And you can just see this is the best match right here, Qwen 3.6, 27 billion. And so that's in Ollama, also the one that I'd probably then go for. In this case here is 3.5. If you can't find the exact model that you're looking for in that list, I just saw 3.5, right? We want 3.6. What we go ahead and do is go to Ollama. We press the models tab right there, right? We press it. We type in Qwen, there we go. We go to 3.6 because that's the one we want to go for. Scroll down a little bit and you can look again for the version that you'd want. You can see right here, right, what the size is going to be. We can either ask AI or we can use LM Studio here to look at what size would fit us. In this case here, I could also go for 3.635B, actually, matter of fact, or a lot of different ones. This one has just been edited, I guess, 8 days ago right here. So that's probably why it's recommending me this one. Probably a pretty nice optimized model. So I can either download it here through LM Studio if it's the one I want to go for, but I personally prefer Ollama. So we can also go ahead and download the latest right here, but we just go for 27B. What we do is we click on it. You can actually copy it right there, but no worries. We click on this little copy button right there, and we go to terminal and insert it there. What it's going to do is it's then going to download this to our device. It's going to take maybe 10, 15 minutes or something like that. And I kind of don't really care for having Qwen on my device, but that's when it's going to say that in this section right here, right? Then all of a sudden Qwen will show up, just like I have Gemma 4.6 now showing up here already. And then if I want to ask it a question, I just insert it right here, and it'll use my computer instead of anything cloud related to ask it questions, meaning, well, the better your device, the better you're going to be able to run it. Meaning if you're doing this on a very old laptop, you're probably not going to be able to download as many versions, but you're going to have to see, based on how much RAM you have, well, you'll be able to download different parameter amounts. Or maybe you're going to want to go for just an older, smaller version. It's just going to keep stating here whether or not it thinks you can run it. But if we, for example, go for this Qwen 3.6 you can see it's a pretty small model right here, right? Only 3.11 gigabytes. So a lot of people will be able to run this on even some older hardware. And if you want to be a bit more specific about the benchmarks, for example, any single one of these versions, you can also scroll down a bit in and see some of the benchmark that I was able to pull to see how it actually compares to some of the other very popular AIs. In this case here, the benchmarks are kind of vague because they're mostly comparing to Google or themselves to other Qwen models. But since for the most part I actually use Gemma 4.26B, it's actually a very nice comparison for me to have because it showcases that Qwen 3.635B at least, right, actually outcompares in a lot of different ways. For my device here, it seems Qwen 3.635B is also going to be possible, but it's getting on that edge where it's most likely just going to be absolutely fine. But do I want to? Because like I said before, the bigger your model is going to be, the slower it's generally speaking also going to be. And if I'm doing recording, running one model, having 1,000 Chrome tabs open, I'm going to break my device for a little bit. I mean, it's not going to break, but it's going to be slow for a while, and I'm going to not be able to do anything. I won't be able to record and use the model. However, if it's 17 gigs or something like that, yeah, that's pretty freaking simple. If you want to try out specific models that you can't find in other places, by the way, you can also check out Hugging Face because it's also got a nice little overview with a lot of very specific models that you can use this little chat feature that it's got over on their website to interact with the model for yourself. And then there's also a lot of benchmarks that you can go off of where you can go deeper to see even different benchmarks for different specific parts of each model, etc. And I'm not saying this is the only method to run these things. I'm just saying these two, Ollama and LM Studio, are by far some of the easiest stepping stones to get into running these on or models on your own. And again, to quickly go over the benefits again, completely private because, well, you're not sending your data anywhere. You don't have to be online for this. Well, extremely fast can be if you've got a pretty solid device, a lot of RAM or pretty good GPU, and you don't really do a lot of other things, or you're running a small model. The nice thing is, if you're running multiple of these things on different, for example, Mac Studios, etc., right, you can build your own entire ecosystem that never talks to any sort of other outside cloud. If you're using Anthropic servers or OpenAI servers, you're using their servers. So you're sending your data over to them, they're processing it, and by that logic, it'll probably be faster because they've got some beefed up devices. But the trade-off is there that you're going to have to pay for each single message. And right now, you're basically only paying for internet and for electricity, and of course for the device itself. But I'm assuming you already have one of them. And so really, it becomes more of a trade-off of when is it worth it to buy a better device to run these local models on, because they're pretty much as good as some of the flagship AI models right now. And now if we're going to look at Claude or ChatGPT, well, Qwen, Kimi, or Gemma here, they all pretty much compare nowadays to some of the ones that you actually have to pay a subscription for. And these are open source and these are free. Why not go for those, right? It's only the hardware that's limiting it. But some of these models, at least for me, are very easily accessible, very easy to run. And it takes like 3 seconds to install something like this on your own device. You can see right now, for me, right? This video tutorial is like, what, 9 minutes long? And I was able to already install like 3 different things in here if I wanted to. Even on 2 different apps, I showed you guys how to do it. It's that simple. And it's really something I think everybody should try. If you get some older device, go for a very small model. Just go for something at least to try it out. This year, I think it's going to run on almost every single person that's watching this device just to get yourself started, see exactly how you like it, see how to interact with it, see how it works, and you can go from there. This is also in comparison to how a lot of people, when they're doing very simple tasks for their AI agents, are using Claude's Haiku, for example, right? Just very cheap, very simple to send messages in. It's not going to be smart. You don't want to do your deep thinking, but hey, it could do simple tasks. A lot of these small models are of similar sort, where you don't want it to do your deep thinking or your deep coding reviews or etc. But if it's a very simple task, you just need some sort of model to run those things for you. Hey, a very small model serves its purpose completely fine because it's not stupid. It's just relatively kind of bad. But if we compare it to where we were years ago, these things are freaking geniuses still, right? As a matter of fact, even 4 billion parameters is actually still pretty insane if you compare it to where we were a few years ago. Also, because context length right now is still at 256,000 tokens, it's just absolutely huge. And so I think I've just gotten a bit spoiled because it's all just so amazing. It's also easy to go for. Just wanted to quickly give you guys a tutorial though on how to get started with getting one of these AIs for yourself. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this one. I'll be back tomorrow, maybe later today, with yet another update on AI because I post about it every single day. And if you enjoyed it, if you learned something new, and if you now know how to do it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you guys again in another one.